What's up, everybody? Here it is, TK and Drinks doing the big first time mead making traditional style going on, whatever we can call it, because today it's the day. Today is the day. It's been a long time coming, everybody. So if you know what I'm talking about, today I'm going to be making my very first mead ever. It's going to be a traditional. It's going to be mesquite blossom honey. It's going to be 1 gallon. So let's get straight away to it. So first up, be working with this Sun Valley Bees raw and unfiltered mesquite blossom honey. Picked this up at the Uptown Farmers Market here in Central Phoenix, and super excited to try their products. We bought several of their single varieties in smaller containers, so never once quite this big. But got 2 of those, so that's going to be 3 pounds of that mesquite blossom raw unfiltered honey. So that's going to be 3 pounds of that honey. Super excited to see how that turns out. Everything else that I've tried for them, I actually believe we had a mesquite blossom one from them and a smaller one, but it was a lot thicker and much more crystalline, which I believe is how the mesquite honey usually ends up, from what I understand. A lot of people get it and it's in a crystallized form, and it's one of those that's really kind of finicky to deal with. So when I saw these 2 premium liquid bottles there at the farmer's market, I knew I had to have those. I knew I was going to pick something. I was leaning towards mesquite blossom, but having heard what I had heard, I didn't quite know. Saw those, grabbed them, solidified that in the books. So let's start to pull everything out of the sink here. Put the honey back here. You know what? Put the honey up here on display for y'all. There's the honey on display for y'all. Star sand in the sink. Boom. Did the 1/2 ounce to the whole sink there, which might have been a little bit of overkill, but it's gonna overkill anything that's on there anyway. So definitely not going to worry about that too much. It's a pretty deep basin sink, so I think we got a pretty good solid mixture in that. Oh, and then one thing before we get started, drinking on a session today. I don't know if anybody at all knows about this or not, but we used to drink these back when I was a kid in Washington. Drink Sessions and Red Stripes. I didn't want to take anything too serious today. I want to have a nice session while I'm brewing everything up. So, all right, now that we got everything out of the sanitation, let's give it a quick look over, see what we got over here. All right, here's our stuff that we pulled out of. Ooh, looks like we forgot one. Here's all our stuff that we pulled out of the sanitation there. We got our spray bottle of sanitizer for anything that we may have forgotten later on. We didn't pull this out of the sanitizer, but I got our jug of natural spring water. Make sure not to get RO or distilled. Got those nutrients and vital minerals in there. Got our hydrometer. We got our turkey baster for plucking juice out of our fermenter jug. Got our blowdown jug with our blowdown tube, which will also double for our auto filter, our auto siphon. We got our funnel. Again, turkey baster. Got some scissors, and we got our mixing bowls there for doing up the yeast and the nutrients and the whatnots with all that. So yeah, buddy. And then of course our star sand that we put into our bowl of goodness. Today we're also going to be working with Kviek yeast. I've had a lot of recommendations from yeast from people across the whole gamut of yeast, D47 and yeast E116 and all these different things. I can't even remember them all. I'm probably getting them all mixed up, but the one that's consistent for me here living in Phoenix with a kind of fluctuating temperature, kind of a little bit on the warmer side and everything, suggests I always go with the Kviek yeast because it likes to ferment hot. So I'm hoping that's going to play to my situation here. So I'm going with the Kviek yeast, and also going with the fermaid-o for nutrients. You're seeing how I mix that up. I'm going to be doing a 4-day mix on that. Got a little formula that we picked up, so we'll get to that. When we get to that, we'll talk about that a little bit more. So got our honey, got our fermaid-o, we got our yeast, we got our session. All right, so let's get straight away into it. First thing, I got a double boiler going on here. We'll be using that to heat up our water for our nutrients. So let's get that rocking and rolling. Let's go ahead. Ooh, you know what? While that water is getting boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize that. There's one thing I did not do. Nice and sanitized. Got that going there. Let's add some of our water to that. Let's not put too much in there. We don't want to have to heat up too much. Just want to get that warm enough so we can get we can pluck some of that off to make our pitch our yeast, make our must, if you will. So like I said, we got our Kviek yeast, and we're gonna be doing the fermaid-o. So while that's heating up and getting the temperature, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this a little bit. So for the Kviek yeast, I'm gonna be going at probably about 2.5 to 3 grams for this 1 gallon that I'm gonna be making. I've talked to a couple different people. I've read the directions on here. I'm pretty much just gonna go with this method and you know, kind of disregard what they got on here. So yeah, they recommend like 0.5 gram to 1 gram per liter, is like 3-something liters in a gallon. So I mean, I guess I'm kind of like right on target for what they're saying here. So I'm probably gonna go with about 3 grams for my gallon. Leave me with about 2 grams left in there. Maybe I'll, you know, do something a little small with that. Maybe I'll mix it with you know, the next batch that I get, throw it back in the fridge. We'll do something with it. We're not gonna throw it away. We're definitely gonna keep the rest of that yeast. So 3 grams of that. And we are going to reconstitute that, rehydrate it, whatever we're talking about with the fermaid-o that we got. We're going to be using that to basically add like in place of like a yeast starter nutrient or something like that, like a re-fermenting or something. So we're definitely going to be just blasting off with some of this stuff. So we're going to be doing this one at a ratio of our gallons times 4. Will give us our total number of grams that we're going to use. That we're going to take that total number of grams and divide that across 4 days. Today being day 1, with our first batch going to be pitched with the yeast. So we're making 1 gallon times 4. It's going to be 4 grams of the fermaid-o. Going to break that up and hit up 1 gram today. Mix in with our 3 grams of our yeast and have that rocking and rolling. So while this water is getting up to temperature, let's go ahead and get our thermometer. Ooh, did not sanitize that. Don't want to compromise our water and stuff already. Start fucking everything up. Ooh, it is warm in here today. This is exactly why I was choosing that Kviek yeast, because that is definitely going to be a warm location where that is at. So I know we're not supposed to dry our hands off, but I'm going to sanitize them again before I start touching more pertinent stuff. Just want to get that hydrometer all sanitized there. Hit up the session. Got that. Get that down there in the water so we can see what we're working with here. We'll try to get that up to about 104 degrees so we can pitch our yeast in that, because everything that I've read, and as I understand, beyond about 104 degrees pretty much starts harming the yeast, killing it, and doing detrimental stuff to it. So 104 degrees for pitching our yeast. Let's get that going. Pick up our bowls here, sanitize our hands. Got our bowls here. Got our scissors. Get our scissors here, cut our fermaid. Make sure to get that cut open there. Alright, take it over to the scale here. Turn that on. Get our bowl on there. Tear that out. I need 1 gram of this. Oh, got a pinch. This is a mess. It's a disaster. Bet y'all just laughing your asses off, and that's fine. Oop, we'll go a little over. I think that'll be all right. 1 gram of fermaid-o. Put our bowl on here for our yeast. Zero that out. Yeasties. Yeasty boys. It's our yeasty boyfriends, the Kviek yeast brothers. Alright, we're going to stick with the 3-1, everybody, and call that good. And get this put away and get our fermaid-o put away real quick. What are we at here? We're at, yeah, it's about 118. That's still way too hot. For my fermaid, I'm just gonna be throwing this in a Ziploc bag, back in its bag, kind of seal it back up the best I can. If there's any storage tricks y'all know, if I'm just totally compromising the shit out of my nutrients, let me know that in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, follow, like, do all that jazz too. It really helps support the channel. Let me know if you're interested in what I'm doing here. You know, all that jazz. Try not to be too overly serious about it. We got our yeast. We got our nutrients. We're gonna just blend those together. There we go. No need to do. Need to sanitize this little spoon so we can get that all out of there, mix it up into there. Make sure that we got, it recommends 100 milliliters, so I don't know what 100 milliliters trans out to in ounces. I want to say it's like 3.5 ounces or something like that, or just right around 3 ounces. So I'm just gonna, you know, kind of use this bowl right here. I was gonna break out my graduated cylinder and all that, but I think it would be all right. Pull the water off the heat because it did get rocking and rolling pretty good there. It came up to about 100 and something degrees. Right around 104. Been in there for a couple. 102, climbing a little bit still. It's been in there for a couple minutes now, making sure to keep the thermometer off the metal of the pan. So imagine I pour this out a little bit and probably cool down and be good to go. All right, here we go. Just pour off a little bit into this bowl. There we go. Good to go. Save that. We're gonna pour that into the jug there so we can start mixing our honey down after we pitch this yeast. So here we go. Yeast officially in. Get a double angle on this one. Yeah. Up close, Cam. Overhead cam. I've screwed that all up. Mix, 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 mix. Hope y'all getting a good laugh at this, because I'm sure this is not how it's supposed to be, but yeah, like I said, I think me mixing that water in that earlier, getting a little bit too much ahead of myself, fucked it all up, but you know what, so be it. Learning, you've got to live and learn. You've got to live and learn. Try to get all these little, smash out these little things like we used to do with our cocoa when we put the water in there and it wasn't quite ready, you know, because this isn't really quite the temperature I've made like cocoa at or anything, so it would give you that like lumpy texture and consistency, but there we go. So continue mixing this here for a little bit, make sure it's all nice and ready to go. So I got most of the chunks all mixed up. Guess that's all she wrote. So let that chill for there for a minute. Ooh, got a little bit of yeast on the back of the spoon. See if we can't get that mixed in there. Try to get everything best we can. So there we go. Got about 10 minutes to go on that, and let that sit there. And take the rest of this warm water, put it here in our jug. Glug a lug. Got that. Got our funnel. Getting ready. Rock and roller. Here we go. So we try to get this about quarter full on the jug there. There we go. A quarter full on the jug. Nice and low temperature. It's cooling off very nicely. There we we go. Got that rocking and rolling. I don't know why we put the funnel away. Didn't need that. Got our nice warm honey. Nice bin. Well, it's actually cooled off a little bit since we pulled it out. Probably should have left it in that bath a little bit, but there we go. Look at that deliciousness. Look at that deliciousness in that honey. Oh my Lanta, it looks so good and so glorious. Like the ambrosia of the gods. Alright, here we go. Like I said, we are going with 3 pounds of this honey to this 1 gallon. So it's going a little slower than I'd like it to, but you know, that's how it is. While that's draining in there, let's go ahead and taste this honey a little bit. Smoky. That's absolutely wonderful. Has a very natural wildflower type of taste. Has a earthiness to it a little bit there. Like I said, a hint of like almost like a smokiness, not like smoked mesquite, but just like a natural kind of smoky earthiness to it. I really like that a lot. There we go. Got that going in there. Put that over there. Oh, you know what I did forget out of here? Our stopper bung for shaking, rocking, rolling. Come on, y'all gotta do something goofy like that while you're shaking it all up. See, burp it, with the thumb off. I didn't take Carlos from, so I follow a lot of the other mead makers that are on YouTube, and Carlos there at Texas Longhouse Mead suggests using a bung that doesn't have a hole in it when you do that, so you don't have to worry about keeping your thumb over it, everything. I also suggest that, but if you don't, you know, the one in the hole is certainly going to work in a pinch. So, got that going. Let's add a little more honey, a lot more honey. Bada bing. While that's draining, we're going to add some water into our honey jar. See if we can't shake some of that loose too. Got honey dripping all down the jar. Have to probably add a little bit. You know what? Warm us up some water here. Heat up a little bit of this water that we got left in here. See if we can't use that to get the last bit out of there. We are gonna pour this now in here. Empty out, hopefully that, oh yeah, draining nicely, rinsing off our funnel. There we go. Nice, nicely done. Take that, put that back over there. Do. Shaking round number 2. Try to be as careful as we can, because it's wet. Try to hold that ring best I can. I'm almost in here. Ooh, got a little burp out there. Delicious. All right. And that back in here. I'm gonna go. Oop. That water is still cooling off. So let's go ahead and add more honey. A bit more water. What's y'all techniques for doing this? I'm all interested. Leave me a comment down there. Do you add the honey in like this? Do you add a special ratio? I'm pretty much just doing the best I can to get it blended and mixed in there. I don't really have any, you know, just kind of watch what other people did and go from there. And I don't know, you know, maybe I'll develop my own technique. 3 shakes, twist, and a cartwheel, you know, kind of like when you're getting out of the bathroom. Like when you're done taking, you got to shake, twist, zip, flip, flop, and then you go wash your hands and you're out. You know, or whatever your own personal method is. Ooh, globules of honey. Ooh, that was breaking the seal there. There we go. See, I got tons of honey down there at the bottom, which means I got a problem. 100% got a problem. So let's put that aside back here in the new honey, and let's get it shaken. All right, got a nice froth going up there. Got a little bit of honey left down there at the bottom. Can you continue to shake that up? Add some more water here momentarily. And call it good. Woo, this is a workout, baby. Whew. No, I'm not sure if we're going to be using all the rest of this honey. We are already pretty saturated in there. I'm going to give it a quick little dab like that. Ooh, it is foaming up. And we're going to call that good. We're not going to go with quite 3 pounds. Well, it's 36 ounces. 16 and 16 is 32. Oh, that's a lot of honey. Whew. That has got some ridiculous honey. I did my math wrong. There is problem number 2. So we just added, say that was 36. So that was a little over 2 pounds. So we just added like 3.5 pounds of honey in there. So definitely gonna pull some of that out and put some more water in there. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We're gonna save that for back sweetening in the future. Throw that in the fridge. That way we'll have a little bit of this original batch here. If it comes out a little drier than we were talking about. Same with this honey. We can save both of these jars for back sweetening purposes if we need to, so depending on how dry it gets. You know, the amount of honey that I'm putting in here very well could not ferment completely dry, but it very well might. So we'll get some water. Give it another quick shake here. Well, looks like we have some bubbles in our yeast nutrients here. So, all right, call that mixed up. Gonna add our yeast, add the yeasty boys to the mix, and it goes everywhere. So, should I continue to stir this and shake it up, or not shake it, but continue to rock it gently every few days, or every day here while it's going? So, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you would do. So here we go. Got that. Our blow down tube. Run this under some hot water. Get that down in there. That nice, good push. Whoa, hey, that's me. Give that a nice solid push there. All right. Nope. Did that wrong, baby. Time to take our... We didn't take our reading yet. We did not take our reading yet, did we? Alright, let's get our hydrometer back out here. So, one of the things I definitely messed up on when I bought this was I didn't think about the one with... I bought one with a thermometer in it, not knowing that it was now going to be too tall to fit in anything I had. So, we're going to try it just with this straight away. Except for that. Can't quite read that. Oh boy. Right. See if we can't aerate this a little more. Take our reading out of this jug and get some of that honey mixed up in there a little bit more. Some of y'all probably screaming, "No, you dumbass, you've already put the yeast in. What are you doing, you clown, you fool?" And I guess I'm gonna learn that the hard way, aren't I? If that's the case. Because can't not have a reading. Got my book right over here. Take this reading, make sure everything's kosher, copacetic, and all that jazz. Alright, here we go. This is such a delicious hobby. Alright, we are at... Where's our scale over here? Oh. Give it a couple spins, like I've been told. Spin all them bubbles to the top. And we are sitting at... Oh, come on, baby. Too much foam on there. Too much of that delicious sugar foam. We're gonna call that 10, 12, 14, 1 point. We're gonna call that 1.116. So, first mead, 1.116. Starting gravity. Today's date. And that's 3 grams of Kviek, 1 gram fermaid-o, 1 gallon plus of water, and about 3 1/2 pounds honey, mesquite blossom. So there we go. Wrote down in the books. You've seen it here. 1.116 starting gravity for TK and Drinks original mead. Back into the sanitizer there. Get the funnel back into the jar. No, before we do that, we'll put this back on here. See if we can't give it another quick gentle rocking. Okay, I like that. Whoa, holy shit. This is gonna be like a fucking comedy act. I hope everybody's gonna enjoy this, because if you don't, then you know what? Because this is an absolute mess. I'm a sweaty disaster. I'm spilling. I'm making a mess. I'm doing everything wrong and backwards. And you know, them's the breaks, I suppose. So try to pour this in as slowly as I can. Not try to create too much of a head on there. Go. Got the cat going bonkers in the background. Got that in the sanitizer back there. Get a little bit of water, yeast left right there on the top. Get that in there. Back in the sanitizer with you. Back in the sanitizer with you. Everything back in the sanitizer. Ended up not using the turkey baster, but definitely had it in case we needed it. So there's the rest of our original pitched honey minus any yeast. That's just honey and water there. So hopefully that'll keep. I'm not gonna get funky or nothing. Got the last bit of our mesquite blossom honey, which was again miscalculated by my stupid math. So back plugging this up. I have to find something skinnier to take my gravity readings. I don't have to pour a third of this thing out every time I need to take a reading. So hopefully that head busts down a little bit and be able to take some readings in there. Although I'm not really expecting that to be the case. Lastly, got our jug here for our star sand for our blowdown tube. So seeing how we didn't use our spray bottle, just gonna go ahead and use that for this. There we go. That's all she wrote. Try to get as much of that. Ooh, no. Oh. Make sure that stays under the water level. There we go. So, there we are. What do we say? Other than hopefully the yeast takes off. Hopefully we got some fermentation later. It's not looking like it's doing much right now, but it's going down into the warm, dark cupboard for fermentation. So we'll check on it in a couple hours, I guess. Maybe check on it tomorrow and see what's happening. So make sure our bung is in there nice and tight. Our blowdown tubes in there, and clean up our honey bottles, clean up our mess, and we're gonna be done. So thank y'all for watching me on my first pitching yeast and making mead and making a must and getting right into primary. So excuse me, that must be the session. So check back on some of my other videos when we rack this over in the secondary and check out what's going on. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well for more daily updates. You want to get some of those videos of the bubbles and all that stuff for the fermentation and whatnot. You know, check that out. Give me a follow and a subscribe here on the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, like I was just saying, all that stuff. So thank y'all for being here. Hope y'all got a good laugh out of it. I know I certainly will in the future. So have a good day, good night, good evening, everybody. Peace.